Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diana and today is a beautiful day. It is nice and sunny. We're in late winter, but it feels like a spring day. And I thought it would be a great idea to get some garden cleanup done. And I will be working in my front yard today. I would like to prune some roses, some hydrangeas, maybe add a little bit of fertilizer to these plants, and also just some general garden cleanup. So let's go ahead and get started. I would like to get started here in this small flower bed. I have a rose underplanted with some pansies and violas. I planted these pansies last November and they are doing great. They overwinter just fine. And the rose that we have here was here before we moved in. I believe it is a pink double knockout rose. And we have 3 others on our front yard just like this one, and they do bloom beautifully. That's why we have kept them. Before we get started on the pruning, I would like to give you guys a close-up on these pansies and violas because they are looking beautiful. They are just stunning this time of year with all their blooms. It is early March and these roses are already starting to leaf out. I probably should have tackled this sometime last month, but we are going to do the best we can. And unfortunately, we also have aphids here. I don't know if you guys can tell, which is not good. So we will be getting rid of those today and hopefully get this population under control. One advantage of having the rose already leafing out is that we can see the growth points, and I will be using these to determine where I will cut. Here we have 2 growth points. The one on the left is pointing towards the center of the plant, and the one on the right is pointing outwards. So ideally, we would cut right here above this growth point, this node, and this will start to branch out and create blooms going this way. Pruning your roses like this gives them more airflow towards the center of the plant, and this could be great in preventing disease or fungal problems. Normally I would go in and clip right here, but like I mentioned earlier, we do have aphids here, and so I'm going to go a little bit further down. Here it's tiny, but I have this little growth point here, and that's where I'll be making my cut. Over on this side we have another little growth point, and it is pointing outwards, so I will be making my cut just above it. Alright, I am finally finished with this flower bed and it looks so good. Super clean, weed free, and here we have beautiful flowers, nice and cleaned up. And I'm excited to see how they will perform later in the season. They typically fill up with blooms and look amazing. Let's go ahead and get started with our second flower bed. Here I have 2 double pink knockout roses and 2 hydrangeas in the center. If we move a little bit closer, we can see the same pansies and violas as in the other flower bed. Some heuchera. I have 3 of those. And over here on the far left, I have a yellow daylily. I dug it up last season and I still haven't found where I want to place it yet. I'm going to get started here on this rose, and I'm going to prune it the exact same way that I pruned the other rose. Now moving on to the other part of the flower bed, I would like to mention that it looks a little bit bare right now, but it certainly fills in. I have a Gerber daisy back there beside this rose, another one that comes up over on this side, and I tend to fill up this garden bed with annuals. I think that the annuals bring so much color and life to this area. Lastly, we'll be tackling these hydrangeas. I am actually not quite certain what the variety is. When I got them, they had no tag, but they are a beautiful hydrangea with large pink blooms. Last year, I just pruned them in the fall, but since it's starting to warm up already, I think that I will just give it a light prune, cut off the flower heads, and clean around the base. Here we can see the buds starting to leaf out, and I am just going to cut right above a good set of buds. Alright, I am finished with this flower bed and it looks really great. I'll let you guys get a close up here. Everything is looking nice and clean. And the hydrangeas, I kind of shaped them to be about the same size. This one looks a little bit wonky here. This branch grew in the opposite direction. Anyway, this is what it looks like now. And we have one more rose to tackle on the other side of the house. The last thing I like to tackle before moving on to fertilizing are these two pots by our front door. And this is kind of embarrassing, but they've been here since last growing season and they are not looking too great. What I have in this pot is an alocasia, commonly known as elephant ear for this variety. And I'm not sure if that one will come back or not, but I will clean up the dead foliage on top. And I also have some creeping Jenny in here, which I'm hopeful will come back. Now that I have the roses and hydrangeas pruned, it's time to add a little bit of fertilizer. And what I will be using is this rose tone. It's Spoma Organic Rose Tone. I will be sprinkling it around the base of the roses, the hydrangeas, and even around these pansies and violas. Now you can use any all-purpose fertilizer, whatever you'd like to use. Most years I just use a plant tone, also by Espoma. Now that the fertilizer has been applied, all we have left to do is water it all in. And we are done. All right, everybody, this is the end of this video. Thanks for joining me on my front yard garden cleanup. I hope this has inspired you to get started on your garden cleanup this spring. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.